Hey guys, it's Tina. I know it's been a while, sorry. I'll admit I've totally been addicted to a game, which yesterday I just turned around and deleted the character. It's taking up way too much of my life. I've been also obsessing with making masks. I want to say stencils, but stencil would have the area around the outside. Um, I've been using page dividers. You can get them at the dollar store, like 8 for $1 to create them. I draw up the design, I put it underneath a piece of glass, which you can also get a frame at the dollar store, tape off the edges of your glass and use it that way. You put your image underneath and put your, um, the page divider on top, and then just go for it and cutting it. And yes, I use an X-Acto blade. Some of the things I've been making, before we get to this, is this one I just basically drew. And yes, it is that big. Look at my hand. It's huge. It'll be great on a jelly plate. Did a tree. That would probably help if you could see it that way. Let me see. Yeah, I am backed out all the way. There we go. Did a tree. This started out completely different. Ended up being a doily. It was supposed to be like sun rays. Went someplace completely different in my drawing. So, and what started it all was I had used a big shot and used some Sizzix dies, the great big thick buggers, and cut out some stencils. You can probably see the wings and stuff in there. I know there's a little glare because I've got them all separated in bags, but I can use this as a stencil and use those little wings and such as masks. Alright, then I progressed. You have a bunch of diamonds here. Now, you remember the old shape cutters from Fiskars? Well, this all started out with me trying to use up this, and I'm sorry for all the crinkling, trying to use up all these stencil blanks I had from Hobby Lobby, and they were so thick you could not cut them with a knife. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, the Fiskars shape cutters. Can you see that? Yeah, I have a ton of those. Anyways, get those out of the way. So I started trying to use those up, and that's what I used the Sizzix dies to cut these. And then, I mean, how many more? I have like 10 of these dies. So what am I supposed to do? Didn't make a ton of the same thing. So then I got out those Fiskars shape cutters and drew around the insides and literally cut them by hand. And man, that was hard because this is a thick plastic. Well, then I graduated to the page dividers, notebook page dividers. And those are the two I had done and posted those on the Crafters community. That's Krafters community, starting with a K on Google+. Well, then since then, I've been going a little bonkers on top of that. I had created a window. All right. I know these aren't perfect, but they're handmade. What the heck? A flower, a different flower, and I'm thinking the cards or the jelly plating. Imagine these on jelly plates and using them for the bottoms, and they're thin enough. And that's just a general little gyro thing. Here, now I can zoom in again. Sorry. All right. So then we had gotten this one, and then this one, and then of course I progressed to something like a rose, and then that. And did not want to waste any plastic, so I cut out a bird for a mask. And then this morning I was gonna make a oh, I can't even think what you call it, like a whirlwind going around in a circle. I did that, and then I decided ended up looking more like a flower. So I ended up cutting around. Oops, helps if I put it in the thing. Here, let's do this. Get it closer. I keep on pushing this away. There we are. Ended up doing like a flower. And now I'm still working on, don't want to waste the material, you know, it's a little sliver of material. So, like this section, let's unhook this. This section right here, I used to cut on the opposite side of this, obviously. I used to cut this. Be great for a nice little label on a card. And I'm sorry, people say, well, I used to make cards like it was something horrible, and you know, I like spreading joy. I like making cards. Started this one. I started to try and repeat that pattern, and I messed up and I slipped and cut too far. So I did that, made like a pinwheel. Then I did this one. I figure what I can do is, you know, put the paint or ink down, whatever I'm going to do. Put this one down, ink around it. Put this one down on top of that and ink around it. Imagine what that's going to look like. Ooh! And of course, I couldn't mess up, and I couldn't leave that other little itty bitty piece from the inside of this one go. So I created some grass. Well, just a couple minutes ago, actually. So now, what I started to do this morning, this was all for me to make a door to go along with my window that I had made. Okay, this has got to go back a little bit. There we go, guys. I'll try not to get out of frame too much. Just slap me if I do. So we got the window. I made sure the door was bigger. What am I going to use this for? I don't know. Art journal page, fooling around, again, jelly plate or whatever. Who knows? Oh man, we're already 7 minutes in. So I'll show you what I've been doing. Yeah, I've taped the image down underneath it. Right now I've got a little piece of a craft sheet under here, taped the image down. Then I've got my piece of the divider sheet on top. Then all I'm going to do is, besides get that out of the way, is go along here, and I won't do the whole thing because you obviously know how to use a knife. Or I might do the whole thing depending on how obsessive compulsive I am. Of course, for the last few months I've been playing a game. We don't want to talk about how obsessive compulsive I can be. It's like even got into a guild on the thing because I'd been playing it for literally months and months and months. And of course, you know, when you get to the corners, that's the tricky part, and that's not going to lift up. I'm going to have to go through with the knife. Come on, baby. I promise you it's not that hard. There we go. Go through with the knife, and just am I in your way? Probably. Just make sure you can get that corner out. That's the hard part. Okay? And, oh great. So now you get to hear Chocolate Harry cough up a fur ball in the background on top of the fan and the air conditioner, because this is Tennessee and it is a little bit warm out. A 1938 house that needs a lot more insulation. Okay. So then we're going to go down here. And obviously if you find this too long, just skip ahead or whatever. But, I mean, I have been just going nuts doing these. And of course, like I said, this morning, I drew this out, then decided to do that whirlwind type thing. Then it ended up being a flower. Then I ended up doing the outsides. And I said, I still have not done this door. So why don't I do the door online? Okay, and like I said, the worst part is getting the corners. I know this ended up being more of a show and tell, and again, this is not perfect. This is handmade, and if I do go off the line a little bit, I can always go back in just a smidge, and it's not going to want me to do it. There we go. Got it. Um, some people prefer, we were talking at the, listening to Monday Meanderings on Craft Shack this morning, and she prefers to do it over cardboard. I prefer to do it over glass, cut with an X-Acto knife. Now what I was doing a few minutes ago was a blast. I'll show you if you can stand to stay with me that long. Wastebasket over here to the right, and that's why I keep reaching up. So all I'm going to do is cut out these squares. And again, this has ended up being a mask versus a stencil because it doesn't have the area on the outside. But what I was doing this morning with that flower, you don't cut into that part, with that flower was actually just having the piece of plastic free floating on the glass. I was not moving the knife, I was moving the material. And I really didn't have much of a picture on the thing, so it worked out pretty good. But I just wanted to show you a more traditional way of doing this. 2 more squares in that circle, and then the outsides, and we'll be done. Now, isn't that rough? Harry. You see a cattail go by? That's Chocolate Harry. He's been upset. My husband hasn't worked in like 9 months now, and trying to cut down as much as we can on finances, so we've been having the shades shut in the back of the house because it gets so warm. Like I said, we need more insulation. And he's celebrating. We have the shades open in this room so I can do the video. Let's just hope he doesn't come and push against the connection to the computer with the video camera and knock it out. He likes to mark things. There we go. Alright, almost done with this last square. And there. Okay, so that's the main part of the door, except, and you see I'm hoarding these little squares. And even just using these little squares as they are, put it on a jelly plate. Yep. That'll be nice to just block out some spots and create a pattern. And hopefully my hand's not in the way, but it is. I can tell. All I'm doing is holding the knife still and turning the plate around so I can cut the circle without really any kind of effort. And I think I'm going to have to go around that part again. And again, it's not a perfect circle. This is handmade. And I better switch that mouse or we're going to have the video stop. There we go. Okay, we got the circle. So now we're down to, and I know probably should do this by putting a ruler up, but I have the worst time doing a straight line with a ruler and a knife. Do not know why. There's that part. I better hold on to that. Right in your way. Let's hope not. And go straight across down here. And go straight across down here. What's the best part to hold? Well, for right now, that. Nope, that. I've got to get there corner. And then and I'm using a stone that you can use for scissors to sharpen my blade instead of having to buy blades all the time for this thing. It seems to work pretty good. And then one more cut, which I laid the top of the door on the edge of the paper. All right, let's see. Do we have it? Do we have it? Da, 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 da. Yeah, that's going to tell you what. Maybe on a white paper. Good luck with that, too. There you go. There is my door. Whoa, there you go. Now, so we've got the door and we've got the window. I wanted to do lines, shutters. Just could not figure out how to do the shutters right. So I'm going to rip this off. Okay. And of course, got to save those pieces. Hoard the pieces, hoard the pieces. I mean, it's only 8 for $1 at the dollar store. Okay, so I wanted to show you what I was doing here with this real quick, and I know I'm going long. So I didn't want to throw this away, so I took some embroidery scissors because they are extremely sharp. Cut out a blobbish, roundish thing. Okay. Throw that over there so it's out of the way. And I'm going to make a flower. Let's see. I put a piece of white paper underneath. Will it make it better for you? Yes. All right. So I'm going to just, again, turn the material. And we have the circle out. And I've got my wastebasket over here. That's why you keep me keep seeing me do that, and there goes everything. Okay, now I've got a couple different flowers there, so I'm just going to go wavy lines to the edge and pull out. And wavy lines. And if I want, I can cut these so they're not so squarish later on. You see what I'm doing? I hope so. Hopefully I'm not in your way. Here, maybe I can get you zoomed in a little better. That's as far as we're going to go, so let's hope my hand doesn't get in your way. So I've got the center, and I'm just making another flower to add on top of that other one. Just making wavy lines, and again, I'm leaving the blade where it is, so I don't skip and slide on the glass. But I love the glass because it just is so smooth, and it slides and it glides when you're cutting something. There we go, pulled it out. Except I didn't get all the center out of there. Trying to make sure your lines meet. I know this is going to be another long Tina video. And if you make it through this, thank you. If you don't make it through this, thank you for stopping by and watching. And I hope you subscribe if you aren't already. I will endeavor to do more videos and better videos and so on. Now that I have deleted my character on my game, and before you ask, the game was Neverwinter Nights. It is totally addictive, totally fun, and it totally took up my life for the last, I don't know how many months, and yes, I just did say months. I don't know the last time I made a card. Well, actually I did. I was making some bird stamps and had made some cards from that. They had a carve fest at the craft shack, and it was just beyond fun. And I made a series of 8 bird stamps, caricature type things with called them the Hearts and Diamonds gang because all of them had hearts and diamonds on them. If you want to know what they look like I said, go on over to the Craft Shack. Or Craft Shack. Crafters Community. Craft Shack is the place where the Heather Crafter, the one who started the Crafters Community, that's her homepage. So if you want to check that out too. And in fact, she's going to be having her Craft It Live tomorrow. It's at 1 o'clock Central Time. So you'll have to do the calculations on that. It's at 1 o'clock Central Time, so just join in. You really, if you want the full experience, go in through Google Chrome, and you can add messages and stuff, and you go in through the Craft Shack. Again, an odd spelling, K-R-A-A-F-T, Shack, S-H-A-C-K. Ah, phew, panic attack. I've got a cat running around here and I don't need to not find the top to my blade. Okay, so, I mean, I've got another flower that if I'm doing some layers, look at that. Ooh, fun times. Psych, psych. All right, sorry, it's another 20 minutes video, but thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and subscribe if you haven't, like I said before, and get out your craft knife and make something homemade.